What's cracking? What's cracking, y'all? How's everybody doing out there, man? How's everybody doing? How is everyone doing? Everybody doing everybody doing good? That's great, man. Got a great show for you guys, man. Great show for you guys. We gonna get into it tonight, man. There goes that guy again, man. There goes that guy again. Um, Everyone hit the like button, man. Smash that like button as you come in here, man. Smash that like button, man. Smash that like button. We locking the doors, man. Lock the doors. Lock the doors. Lock the doors. Wow. Everybody hit that like button. Smash that like button, man. Smash the like button. He said, well rested. How about you? Yeah. Shout out to Couch Below, man. Glizzy Hendrix, man. I'm in here, man. I'm well rested, but that don't mean nothing, man. That don't mean nothing, man. That don't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing. I could be well rested. Um, I could be well. I could be well rested. Yeah, I could be well rested and still, it don't matter, man. Well rested, it don't matter, man. I still be falling asleep in this moment. Uh, you know, still be falling asleep up in this. But you know, that being said, we still gonna keep it cracking, man. We gonna keep it cracking. Um,
And I will tell you this as plainly as possible. I don't want to live around black people. I just don't. It would be irresponsible if I had a wife and kids to live near black people. It just would be. And
he came in hot, didn't he? He came in hot. Damn. Bro came in hot, didn't he? He came in flaming hot. I think we might got a hold off on him, man. He came in hot. He might got to come back with that, man. That dude came in. He ain't got no brakes, man. That dude don't have no brakes, man. That dude don't have no brakes, man. We might have to oh yeah, I know where this stabbing happened at, man. It is DC. It was a mass stabbing in DC today. We can cover that first. We'll cover the mass stabbing in DC first. We'll come back to Homeboy, man, in the later on, man. Homeboy smoking, man. He came in hot. I think I gotta let him cool his jets a little bit before he, you know what I'm saying? We gotta let him cool his jets a little bit. Everybody hit that like button, man. Smash that like button, man. Smash that like button. Smash that like button, man. Everyone hit that like button, man. I'm muted. I'm muted. I'm muted. Press one if you can hear me, man. Press one if you can hear me. Press one if you can hear me. You can't hear me? Okay. You can hear me? Okay, good. I'm gonna come back on homie. He got to cool his jets, man. Let's start with this, man. Let's start with some regular Trinidad.
Continuing to monitor that news out of Northeast DC this evening, where 7 people were hospitalized after a stabbing in the Trinidad neighborhood.
Our Christian Flores is on that scene. Christian, you just got an update from police. What are they telling you?
Yeah, we just heard from MPD Chief Smith just moments ago, and you can actually see there's still quite a massive scene, at least 2 or 3 blocks. But they're saying of the 7 people taken to hospital, 6 of those were victims, and one of them was actually the suspect. Now, this all started when the suspect stabbed himself multiple times, and in an altered state is what police are calling this, but a total of 6 victims, all adults, including one grandmother. We're told that grandmother was actually with her her grandchildren, who are all juveniles. Luckily, they were not injured in this, but this is quite a complicated sequence of events. So we'll have MPD Chief Pamela Smith explain to you in just a moment, but we also want to show you the knife. MPD police officers were able to recover a knife from the scene. You might be able to see it on your screen right now.
That knife looks awfully familiar, man. That knife looks awfully familiar. That knife looks crazy familiar, man. That's the typical DC nigga knife, man. That's the typical DC nigga knife, man. It's a 3.5-inch blade, man. That's crazy, man. We got the same blade, man. It's a little rusty, man. But yeah, that's the typical. That's what I'm saying, man. Most people carry this, man. You gotta keep one of these on you, man. That's why those people, they didn't have one of these. You got to keep one of these, and you definitely got to keep this on you. Let me see if there we go. Let me see if I can. You got to keep that on you. You got to keep both of those, man. Both of those on you, man. Shout out to S Freak, man. He said great show last night. Yeah, S Freak came up on the panel, man. Shout out to S Freak, man. Nah, these joints legal. 3.5-inch blade is legal in DC, man. See, this dude right here, I would have maced the shit out of him. Once you start stabbing people around me, I'd have maced his ass. I wouldn't even have went in with the blade. The blade is the last resort. I'd have had the blade in one hand and the mace in the other hand. Just spraying his ass. Wet t-shirt contest, nigga.
Pretty close by to where the stabbing happened. And now we want to have MPD Chief Smith explain exactly the sequence of events, what led up to this, and how this all ended.
It appears the suspect was in an altered mental state from an unknown substance. While walking down the street, the individual began stabbing himself and then stabbed a female acquaintance who was also with him. The suspect then stabbed others standing outside in the block. Two good Samaritans, and we are very grateful for them this afternoon, tried to intervene in the suspect's assault and were among those who was injured. I will say this, even though we're grateful for their intervention, we would ask that individuals who see incidents such as this to not intervene, because these two individuals, although good Samaritans, were also stabbed as part of this assault.
And right now, you're still looking at detectives on scene, again, trying to piece together really a complicated puzzle here. But we're also learning of the 6 victims, 4 were women, including that grandmother we told you about. 2 were men. So those were the 6 victims. The 7th person taken to hospital is a suspect. We're told that suspect is in surgery right now. Obviously, a lot of information there. You heard from MPD Chief Pamela Smith talking about the 2 good Samaritans who tried intervening. We actually spoke with an ANC commissioner who heard from members of his community saying that they tried stopping this suspect, was told that they think that they were able to avoid more injuries and even death as a result of trying to stop. Of course, MPD Chief Smith saying, try not doing that, especially in a dangerous.
Yeah, man. Sometimes people are just heroes, man, because sometimes calling 911 is gonna, if somebody's stabbing somebody, if it's a dude stabbing a bunch of women up, calling 911, they're not gonna get there in time. You may need to intervene, man. Those people are heroes, man. Those people are heroes. Oh, we got a new initiative on juvenile crime. A new initiative on juvenile crime for what? Why do you need a new initiative on juvenile crime, man?
Meanwhile, DC Police is preparing to roll out an investigative unit targeting young people who are committing crimes. Mayor Muriel Bowser and Police Chief Pamela Smith announced what they're calling the Juvenile Investigative Response Unit. Rafael Sanchez Cruz is in Navy Yard. He's been looking into this for us tonight. Rafa, how does this program differ from what police are already doing?
Yeah, Simone, so let's say some teens carjack a driver. So under the current model, that case would be investigated by the detectives in the police district where the crime happened. But soon, all of these youth crime cases will be handled by this specialized unit. This unit will also follow through with these cases until the young person is rehabilitated.
So never. Never. But yeah, listen, so they got a juvenile crime problem in DC, man. Shout out to not Jimmy Stewart, man. He said white power. He said, sorry, I meant $5. Nah, man, you already said it, man. Shout out to Jimmy Stewart, man. Not Jimmy Stewart, man. But yeah, man. Yeah, that's a damn shame, man. You black people, you're fucking teens. are so out of control. You can't control them. The police can't control them. Only thing we're in agreement about is that they being victimized by the system and people, everybody being racist towards them. Mm. Everybody hit that like button, man. This is groundbreaking though. I'm happy they're doing this, man. This is long overdue.
Yeah, Simone. So let's say some teens carjack a driver. So under the current model, that case would be investigated by the detectives in the police district where the crime happened. But soon, all of these youth crime cases will be handled by this specialized unit. This unit will also follow through with these cases until the young person is rehabilitated.
Ooh, I get to see it firsthand. I still live it firsthand. So
Gianni Adkins says having the support of the community group Far Southeast Family Strengthening Collaborative changed his life entirely.
DC youth needs somebody to look up to.
That lack of guidance combined with economic hardships at home is leading to what this group's director calls parentified youth.
I wish they would stop with the economic challenges. Because we give poor people around the world a bad name, man. And I'm not saying that some poverty doesn't lead to some crime, but we act like poverty leads to carjacking and joyriding. And poverty leads to shooting your ops and shit. Carjacking leads to bullying and shit like that. Nah, I mean poverty leads to bullying. Let's just see what they say. Let's see what they say, man. I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt, man. Let's see what they're gonna say, man. Everybody hit that like button, man. Smash that like button.
What we're seeing with this young population, and I'll even say between 10 and 15. I said that they're becoming parentified. They feel the need to care for their younger siblings by any means necessary. And that's also inciting the violence.
We have seen an increase in fights in our schools and more serious criminal offenses outside of our schools.
Yeah, that's crazy. An increase in fights at the schools. These are black people that you go to the white neighborhoods, you don't have these problems, man. Even the poor white neighborhoods, man. I live in a poor white city, man. What you would call a cluster of poor white cities. Just like a million of them just dotted all throughout this area, man. And all the crime is being done by Dominicans and Puerto Ricans and blacks. The schools are uninhabitable for white people now, man. White people can't send their kids to the schools no more, man. This ain't got nothing to do with poverty, man. Y'all gotta stop saying that, man. And all you people that live in these little towns, because I know I'm not the only one. There's a bunch of niggas. I see niggas all the time. And I'm like, damn, nigga. You don't see all these poor white people? All these fucking King of the Hill characters walking around? It's a bunch of King of the Hill characters walking around. Duck Dynasty characters walking around. And niggas like, yeah, man, crime, man, and poverty, man. Nah, motherfucker. You know goddamn well. You know goddamn well. It ain't got nothing to do with that. Because when you got here, it wasn't no crime. That's why you came here, nigga. Press 1. Niggas leave places. Niggas leave the black communities and Hispanic communities to come around white people to get away from crime and then talk about some crime is actually because of poverty. Nah, motherfucker. You left and came to this little fucking town to get away from niggas. Shout out to S Freak, man. He said correlation isn't causation. Yeah, man. Exactly. Bunch of fights at the school, Fuck that got to do with poverty, man.
And fights in our schools and more serious criminal offenses outside of our schools. And we have seen an increase in juvenile suspects involved in criminal offenses district-wide.
DC police say nearly 50% of all carjacking arrests so far this year are young people under the age of 18, which is one reason they're launching the Juvenile Investigative Response Unit, or GRU. Chief Smith says the unit will dedicate investigators to violent crimes committed by kids and teens, and will also work with other DC agencies to get youth the services they need.
Our success will be measured by tracking recidivism.
Police say last year, 196 kids and teens arrested for violent crimes had prior violent crime arrests. Chief Smith says the unit should be fully formed by the end of this month and is set to be up and running before the summer when crime tends to increase.
Compared to last year, this time, violent crime is down 26%. Homicides are down. Carjackings have been cut in half.
And I feel sorry for this man because she has tackled the crime problem. And she was against all the BLM bullshit. She was against all the, rollbacks on police and all the like stupid shit they did during the summer of Floyd, all the legislative shit, make it easy on niggas because they had to watch 8 minutes and 46 seconds of some crackhead overdosing. That's basically what it was. Niggas got a 4-year get out of jail free card because they had to watch some crackhead overdose. But anyway, she did a good job, but here's the problem. Just like in Philly, man, with that man, she's doing a good job too. Black crime is just so fucking steady, and it's like a river. Like some days you might go out there and the river is low. You could go down there and stand on the bank and fish. And other days you wake up and your basement is flooded. You know what I mean? Black crime is that river that's always there, no matter how high or how low it is. It's constant. So you can never really get credit for taking you can never really get credit for curing it. You can never get credit for curing it.
And we continue to see reductions in property crime.
Now, Chief Smith was also asked if this was a response to the criticisms about crime in D.C. from President Donald Trump. She says this plan has been in the works since the beginning of this year. Live in Navy Yard, Rafael Sanchez Cruz, WUSA 9.
All right, Rafa, thank you.
Good morning. My name
Meanwhile, D.C. police is preparing to roll out.
WUSA 9 News at 6 starts right now with some breaking news in D.C. And thank you for being here. I'm Leslie Foster.
And I'm Lorenzo Hall. So right now we can tell you 6 people are in the hospital after police say a man randomly stabbed them. This all happened about 3 hours ago near Montello Avenue and Sims Place. That's in the Trinidad neighborhood.
Our John Duran is live at the scene. And John, police said a grandmother and her 2 granddaughters are among the victims here. What are you learning?
Leslie, you're absolutely right. Very scary. Neighbors shaken up out here. There are
a lot of neighbors outside coming to see what happened. Police described it to us as a series of random stabbings on Miggs Place Northeast. Behind us is Montello and Rom Northeast. We're only about a block east of West Virginia Avenue Northeast right now where we're standing. But police say 4 women and 2 men were stabbed just before 3:30 this afternoon. And we're told that all 6 of those victims were transported to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. And tonight they are in stable condition. Police tell us the suspect was in an altered state and began stabbing himself while...
This neighborhood has been so heavily gentrified, man. You wouldn't recognize this neighborhood from 20 years ago.
Walking down the street, then stabbed a woman he was walking with. Police tell us he then stabbed a grandmother getting into her car while her 2 grandchildren were nearby. That's when authorities say 2 men jumped onto the suspect to try and stop the assault. Police say those 2 Good Samaritans were stabbed as well. Chief Pamela Smith says officers arrived on the scene immediately and found the suspect on the ground with a knife nearby.
The suspect's in custody, and I think that's the one thing that should bring calm for this community. It's a different story if we were still looking for the individual, but he is in custody. We had some individuals who attempted to intervene.
He chose the wrong block to come on. Even though he attacked those women and really hurt those women, we put him down on Miggs Place.
Yeah, that was the ANC commissioner for this neighborhood in Trinidad, shaken up this evening as police continue to investigate this crime scene, which spans multiple city blocks. Lorenzo, Leslie, send it back to you.
Thankfully, they're going to be okay physically.
Yeah, but what a traumatic afternoon there in the community.
Yeah, man. This neighborhood, man, it's been heavily gentrified, man. You can't even imagine how gentrified that neighborhood has been. Damn, I'm looking for an article for back in the day when they had the, but I'll find it later, man. Shout out to Trinidad.
Tales about a violent stabbing spree in Northeast D.C. Thank you for staying up with us. I'm Leslie Foster.
And I'm Lorenzo Hall. So we first broke the news to you on WUSA 9 News at 5 o'clock. Police say a man stabbed himself, then stabbed 6 other people. Neighbors helped take that man down.
Okay, so this all happened before 3:30 this afternoon along Montello Avenue and Sims Place in Trinidad. And our Alexis Wainwright arrived not long after that. She's been talking with neighbors who are struggling to make sense of this violence.
DC police are still trying to piece together what exactly led up to what they're calling a random stabbing spree in Northeast. Now, neighbors in the Trinidad community tell me they've seen violence before, but never anything like this.
I heard 3 loud screams from a lady. I was in my bedroom and I heard this guy screaming explicitives. And so I went to go see.
Police say a man who was under the influence of an unknown substance started stabbing himself.
Thought he had a knife in his hand and he was just like holding it like that.
Then things escalated quickly.
And chasing after some woman saying, I'm going to kill everyone. I'm going to kill everyone.
Police say he stabbed a woman he had been walking with, then attacked a grandmother as she was getting into her car with her 2 granddaughters. 2 men jumped in to help, but they were also stabbed.
He didn't just call police and wait for them to show up to apprehend the individual. Then he chose the wrong block to come on, even though he attacked those women.
Then 2 other people were stabbed.
And I'm just not understanding why somebody would, do something like that to them. And I'm just, I'm overwhelmed.
Brenda Smoke says she knows 2 of the victims.
Used to walk up and down the street on her walker. And this lady did just mind her business, and she just daily walk up and down the street.
There's a deep concern for the grandmother who was attacked. Police say her granddaughters weren't hurt. She essentially protected them.
We know her from around the area. We see her, she speaks, and she's really nice. And without her walker, she can't walk. And to hear she got stabbed is heartbreaking. It's hard that they saw that happen to their grandmother.
And now,
emotionally destroyed. I couldn't believe that something of this magnitude happened in my community.
Everyone in this tight-knit community is trying to process what happened just steps away from their front doors.
Here 37 years, so I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. And we're in a good posture this time.
It's really sad, and that's unacceptable.
Our neighborhood should be safer than that.
They're leaning on faith during a time of uncertainty.
I could do is pray for the United States of America.
I just don't know what this is. Keep on praying.
Alexis Wainwright, WUSA 9.
District Court police have some.
All those people are Trump supporters, man. I mean, all those people hate Trump. I mean, they despise Trump. You hear me? All those people despise Trump.
A terrifying crime is caught on video and a violent suspect being sought tonight. He uses a box cutter to rob an employee at a Philadelphia pretzel factory. You can see the suspect grab her over the counter before taking all of the money from the register. Well, tonight, that brave employee is talking only to Action News. Leland Pinder has her story.
He just grabbed me by my shirt and, had the box cutter in the other hand.
This unidentified woman is speaking out after she says a man attacked her at her job Sunday afternoon. Video released by Philadelphia police shows those terrifying moments inside this Philadelphia pretzel factory in the 5600 block of Broad Street. The woman struggles to get away as the man demands money from the register.
In my mind, I'm saying, don't hurt me, don't kill me, and I'm thinking, is this how it ends?
Wow. They just strike fear. Like, this is the fear that this woman was really scared, man. Shout out to Marlon. She says, what's going on with that young thug? Yo, I don't even have to cover hip-hop crime. There's been so many stories in hip-hop the last 2 weeks involving crime and murder and stuff like that and debauchery. The hip-hop blog has been eating well, man. I don't even have to cover that stuff, man. Young Thug is a fucking fool, man. He's a goddamn idiot, man. He's a fucking moron. I can't even describe how stupid he is.
Out loud, I'm saying, take it. Take it.
Here you see the man on the counter emptying the register, and then he runs. Police hope the public can help identify him. He was captured on video again as he entered the southbound subway entrance on Broad Street.
You hurt someone. And yes, I walked away, thankfully, but it's still traumatic, and it didn't need to happen.
The victim, who feels violated, says she had no reason to suspect anything out of the ordinary just before this happened and was caught off guard. Her message to others.
As simplistic as this might sound, just be mindful of everything.
Right now, the victim is off work, and she says she plans to...
Yeah, but it's hard to be mindful of everything. The way black crime works, black crime, like I told you, it's like a river. After you walk past the river so many times, you kind of like, you can't be mindful of the river every single time. Salute to my man, Rob, man. Shout out to Rob, man. Salute to you, bro. Salute to my man, Shamil, man. Shout out to Shamil, man. Appreciate you guys coming through, man. It's like a river. You can't be mindful. There's black people everywhere. There's me. There's you. I ain't gonna do shit to you. So you see me at the grocery store. I ain't doing shit to you. So you see somebody else, another black person. They ain't doing. And then boom, some nigga jumps up with a fucking box cutter and puts it to your neck and shit.
Seek therapy to cope with what she's been through. Police tell me they don't believe right now that this suspect is connected to any other incidents. If you see him, they say, don't approach, just call 911. Here outside police headquarters, Leland Pinder, Channel 6 Action News.
The U.S. Marshals have arrested the 17-year-old who was wanted in the shooting death of another teen on a SEPTA bus. Zakai Davis was taken into custody today in Norristown. Investigators say he fired a gun into a bus last month, striking and killing 15-year-old Zakir Whitfield. Action News reporter John Paul is live at...
See, and this is what these dumbass people are talking about online. How come when it's a black kid, Nobody. Black kids kill black kids. Nobody cares. Shit, we do care. It's just a fucking tsunami of it. By the time you fucking hear about one black teen getting killed, there's another black teen getting killed. And I'm talking about just in your city. You know how many black teens getting murdered by other black teens every day across the country? So yeah, when a white teen who's a fucking straight A student, D1 caliber football player, track star, fucking academic All-American and shit, Rhodes Scholar and all this bullshit, when he gets stabbed by a fucking ape because he told the guy he had to leave their tent at a track meet, people are going to be alarmed. And especially now when they can be alarmed. Before, you couldn't say nothing. Before, you had to act like you didn't see it.
Action News reporter John Paul is live at police headquarters with more on Davis's arrest. John.
Yeah, Christy, he was on the run for almost 2 weeks, but now he's here at police headquarters. U.S. Marshals say they tracked him down at an apartment building in Norristown today. They say he even changed his appearance. This is the moment a fugitive wanted on murder charges was arrested in Norristown. 17-year-old Zakie Davis has been on the run since March 22nd. In that time, his appearance changed from this photo police put out after that deadly shooting on a SEPTA bus in West Philadelphia.
Early in the investigation, we had information that he had possibly cut off all his hair. When we went into the apartment today, all his hair was cut off.
U.S. Marshals have been hunting for Davis after he was accused of killing 15-year-old Zakir Whitfield. Whitfield, an Upper Darby High School student, was sitting in the back of a SEPTA bus when police say 4 juveniles, including Davis, boarded the bus and a fight started. After that fight, police say Davis got off the bus near 40th and Girard and fired one shot at Whitfield, killing him. The marshals say they've been trying to work with the suspect's family to bring this to an end.
Now, we had given Zakie Davis's family every opportunity to turn himself in, and to be quite honest, they were less than cooperative with information.
But last night, they got a key piece of information. They learned the murder suspect might be hiding in an apartment building on West Beach Street in Norristown. Around noon today, they say they found Davis inside, bringing this manhunt to an end. I talked to the victim's family today over the phone. They're relieved he's been caught, but sad that 2 lives have been destroyed, something the marshals agree with.
And he probably said it best, that it's not just the loss of one life in his son, but now another juvenile, 17-year-old.
No. Wrong answer. Your kid that's on the bus, minding his business, life is not on the same as some fucking roving chimpanzee with a gun that's going around looking for trouble. Those 2 lives are not equal in this situation. Y'all gotta stop doing that. Your kid's on the bus minding his fucking business. Your kid's from the suburbs. So that kid wasn't even from Philly. He's from the suburbs. And he's just on the bus minding his fucking business. They get on, kick his ass, and then shoot him. Ain't no fucking 2 lives lost.
Is going to spend a significant amount of time, if not the rest of his life, in jail for a senseless act of violence.
Now, shortly after that arrest, the suspect was taken here to police headquarters to be processed by homicide detective.
Look at all this crime. Listen, I'm just trying. Look at black people, man. Look at niggas.
Breaking news tonight here on News 12 Brooklyn. Thanks for being with us. I'm Amanda Bossard. After nearly 4 years, the case against Claudia Banton has come to a close with a verdict. News 12 Shakti Dennis was in the courtroom when the jury announced its decision and joins us now with that and more. Shakti.
Amanda, the jury deliberated for about 3 hours, and you could really feel the anticipation when they walked back into the courtroom and read their verdict. guilty on all charges.
Something I needed to hear. This has been a hard road.
Emotions poured out of the courtroom as a jury found Claudia Benton guilty of murder and criminal possession of a weapon.
You didn't think about what you was doing, so now you have to pay.
4 years after 42-year-old Delia Johnson was shot execution style on a Crown Heights sidewalk, her family 42-year-old Delia Johnson was shot execution after 42-year-old Delia Johnson was shot execution style on a Crown Heights sidewalk. Her family says they can finally begin to heal.
I need to just relax and close my eyes and sleep.
Despite telling video evidence, this outcome was far from certain. Defense attorney Jonathan Strauss spent weeks poking holes at the prosecution's case and maintaining Claudia's innocence.
First reaction is disappointment, as anyone's would be. We fought hard in this case.
But he admits a surprise witness, a longtime friend of both Delia and Claudia, who was there the night of the murder, dealt a major blow to the defense.
It still took a witness to with all this video confirmation, it still took a witness to snitch, as niggas call it. If nobody snitched, this bitch would have walked free. Ain't that a bitch?
That's the witness that we had no idea about until we were in the middle of the trial.
Two women who once called each other family, now forever divided by this verdict.
I'm sure she's devastated.
But my daughter's gone and she will never be able to come back. Claudia's gone. The difference is that she can call her children.
And Claudia.
A terrifying crime is caught on.
The U.S. Marshals have arrested the 17-year-old who was.
Hey there, good evening to you both. The family of Aiden Zeeler is going through unimaginable grief right now. They tell us that they're really just taking everything minute by minute. They're hoping that by sharing their story, someone will come forward.
His name is Aiden. He's not a number. He's not a story in the newspaper.
He is their son. This video taken on New Year's Day 2024 shows Aiden Zeeler exactly as his family describes him, always marching to the beat of his own drum. Who could have known it would be their final full year spent together?
Just waiting for him to open the bottom door and say, "Hey, Mama," because he called me Mama. I'm just waiting for him to come back home.
I didn't know about this story, but but who you think killed this white boy, man? Who you think killed this white kid, man? Who you think killed Aiden, man? The algorithm just sent this to me, man. Who you think killed Aiden, man? Just off the bat, man. Who do y'all think killed Aiden? Who do y'all think killed Aiden, man? Everyone hit the like button, man. Smash that like button. Shout out to Mac Knight, man. Hit that like button, man. I don't know. Let's see.
Just waiting for him to open the bottom door and say, "Hey, Mama," because he called me Mama. I'm just waiting for him to come back home. And he's never going to come.
Home is where Aiden's mother, Denise, says he was heading last weekend, driving on northbound I-95 when police say he was shot. Aiden's Mustang and an abandoned white Acura were found riddled with bullet holes. A third car was also involved, but fled before police got there. Police tell NBC 10 Aiden was an innocent victim hit by errant gunfire.
The Mustang.
Oh, so he was hit by errant gunfire. Somebody was shooting at another car on the highway. Who does that? Who shoots at cars on the highway, man? Who shoots at cars on the highway? At least we know Aiden wasn't into no funky stuff, man. He was just a innocent victim. That's good to know. He didn't he wasn't like out here. He wasn't associating with he wasn't Negro adjacent. He just happened to be driving on the same road with Negroes. He had to share space with Negroes, man. That was his crime. So all he was doing was sharing space with Negroes. Damn.
Driving on northbound I-95 when police say he was shot. Aiden's Mustang and an abandoned white Acura were found riddled with bullet holes. A third car was also involved but fled before police got there. Police tell NBC 10 Aiden was an innocent victim hit by errant gunfire.
The Mustang that was on the news, him and I built that car. I bought that car when he was 14 years old, and we just found a picture. He would make me take him down the garage just so he could sit in it.
His parents are holding on to these memories captured in photos, a glimpse into what Aiden enjoyed most.
He loved fishing. Kid had a fishing rod in his hand just about every day.
Fishing rod in hand, with kindness in his heart. His mother says he was a friend to everyone.
He was special. He was special and he was unique and he was meant to be here and not taken. And in order to tell his story of who he is, I have to do this. I have to be strong. He won't want it any other way.
His family says their strength comes from Aiden. He lost his biological father as a little boy, and as he grew up, a tattoo he chose in his honor.
It was a rose being held by a skeleton's hand that said, "Time goes on after we're gone," and as a tribute to his father.
It's now become a motto.
That phrase, his words, is what's pushing me.
In his family's journey of justice and healing. Now, Aiden's family tells us that the passenger that was in the car that night is a good friend of Aiden's. He is expected to be okay. I'm also told that one day they would like to start a foundation in Aiden's honor. For now, reporting live, Lily Zhang, NBC 10 News.
Damn, R.I.P. Aiden, man. He got caught in the crossfire of a shootout on a highway in Philadelphia. I wonder who was shooting that gun. I wonder who was shooting that fucking gun.
Breaking news here in Lake County, where the state attorney's office will seek the death penalty in the murder of a 10-year-old boy. I'm Jessica Gahn.
Good afternoon. I'm Nancy Alvarez. The boy's mother and her boyfriend are accused of torturing Severe Williams. West 2's David Jones live in Tavares today. And David, this was a major development in this case. We know you've been following it for some time. Was this expected?
Yeah, I think everyone kind of expected that the grand jury would return a higher charge of first-degree murder. But the question on everyone's mind was, would the state be pursuing the death penalty in this case? And this afternoon, we learned it would be. It was the first time we heard directly from State Attorney Bill Gladson and his team on this case. Gladson announced a grand jury had returned charges of first-degree murder and aggravated child abuse. They face 5 counts. The grand jury considered the state's evidence, including the alleged use of dumbbells dropped on the boy. And Gladson said the state attorney's office will be pursuing the death penalty against both of the defendants in this case. That's Severe's mother, Kimberly Mills, and her boyfriend, Andre Walker. Both are still being held in the Lake County Jail without bond. Gladson says this case has resonated with his team, with the police department, with the community, but noted it has changed a family forever. He invited Severe's family to today's announcement, including his aunt, the sister of his biological father, to speak. And Gladson laid out the reasoning why the state says it will pursue the death penalty in this case. Let's take a listen.
The aggravating factors the state intends to prove and has reason to believe that it can prove beyond a reasonable doubt are as follows. The defendant was previously convicted of another capital felony or a felony involving the use or threat of violence to the person. The capital felony was committed while the defendant was engaged in or was an accomplice in the commission of or an attempted to commit aggravated child abuse. The capital felony was especially heinous, atrocious, and cruel. The victim of the capital felony was a person less than 12 years of age. The victim of the capital felony was particularly vulnerable because the defendant stood in a position of familial or custodial authority.
And just a note on what Gladson's saying there, assuming the state proves beyond a reasonable doubt both Mills and Walker's guilt in these felony charges, then prosecutors plan to pursue the death penalty. Severe's father's family thanked the community here in Lake County for their support. They'll be returning to Connecticut in the coming days. That's where Severe is from and where his father still lives, to hold a vigil and the little boy's funeral. Now, Gladson also acknowledged.
Jesus Christ.
Brevard County high schools are now fully equipped with weapons detection systems. West 2 told you back in February that the system alerted school authorities to a student trying to bring a gun into Cocoa High.
Today, West 2 Brevard County reporter Megan Moriarty got an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at how the technology works and how students are reacting to it.
At Cocoa Beach High, the school day starts with students lining up and getting ready to file.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Look, y'all. Salute to Ray Wall, man. Shout out to my man Ray Wall, man. He say, black folks don't be killing their kids. That's white people shit.
File in through its doors.
Yeah, it's like totally like, it's like brushing my teeth. At this point, it's like, okay, I'm just gonna walk through the doors again, through the detectors. Like it's no big deal.
This year, open gate weapons detection systems were slowly rolled out into every Brevard County high school, with Cocoa Beach High School getting its detectors in February.
Little like a greater sense of security sort of thing.
You know what this makes me think? There's some black schools in this county, and instead of just putting them in the black schools so the black people wouldn't feel bad and the black people couldn't cry racism, they put them in all the schools in the county. Press 1.
This year, open gate weapons detection systems were slowly rolled out into every Brevard County high school, with Cocoa Beach High School getting its detectors in February.
Little like a greater sense of security sort of thing, you know, it just gives us that extra little protective barrier, I guess, you know, and it just makes us feel a little safer.
Freshman Sasha Parasquives says the transition has been seamless.
Because, you know, this has become the new norm, you know, and you know, there's some good to it. There's some anxiety to it, just the fact that they're here. But like I said, through the proactive communication, it's really been a seamless transition.
Employees love how easy they are to turn on. You just flip this switch and the two poles start talking to each other, calibrating, and then they're ready for students to walk through.
On Thursday, West 2 got a behind-the-scenes look at how the system works.
So we have a table set out there where they can go through their bag, but you know, as they learn what's setting it off, 3-ring binders, glasses cases, tin cans, instruments, things like that. So they were more educated on what was setting it off so they can have it out and ready so it can be searched by our administrator at the table.
Back in February, the open gate technology stopped a student from bringing a gun into Cocoa High School. It was the first detection by the equipment. The weapon didn't make it into the building and the student was taken into police custody. And while the district realizes it's scary to have something like that happen, they're thankful for these systems to ensure student safety. Something Parasquives echoed as well.
It's like something you didn't know you needed until you had, you know.
Covering Brevard County in Cocoa Beach, Megan Moriarty, West 2 News.
Let's see. I'm gonna drop the link in a minute, man. I'll drop the link in a minute, man. We're gonna get into it.
A man arrested 2 years ago for a shooting that killed one woman and injured 4 others is no longer being charged with the murder.
Court records show prosecutors didn't think the evidence was strong enough and have dropped the charges. The news, devastating for the family of the woman who died. They spoke with Fox 4's David Santendri today. David.
Yeah, Stephen, Heather, there's no indication that the victim was the target of this shooting, more so wrong place at the wrong time. Now it's back to the drawing board.
That's a recurring theme in Blackistan. Wrong place, wrong time.
For investigators who are trying to solve this case.
How y'all go from having evidence to not?
Family of Shania Jones frustrated with Dallas Police Department after the man charged in her murder had his case suddenly dismissed last week.
Did he do it? I mean, we know the case has been dismissed, but did he do it?
I believe they dropped the ball because they had a lot of good leads. Even I went up there and gave them leads, videos, conversation.
July 16th, 2023, Jones was killed. 4 others injured. A drive-by shooting at an overnight block party near Fair Park. A month after the shooting, 23-year-old LaQuest Searles charged with murder. Searles.
LaQuest. That's a new one, man. We ain't heard that one before. Wow.
After the shooting, 23-year-old LaQuest Searles charged with murder. Searles was indicted by a grand jury, but now prosecutors filed a successful motion to dismiss the case. It's rare, according to attorney and former prosecutor Russell Wilson.
Usually when a case is indicted, if it's contested, it usually proceeds to trial.
Wilson is not connected to this case. We sent him court documents. He says what stands out from publicly available evidence is there was not a specific eyewitness to identify Searles. Detectives mostly based the arrest warrant off Searles fitting the description of someone abandoning the suspect vehicle at a later time. Connections to gang members seen on video in the vehicle at a McDonald's drive-thru prior to the shooting, and most importantly, Searles' cell phone data pinging at the shooting scene and areas the vehicle was driven.
And so the state was relying primarily on technology, and while that information could be helpful, there are limitations.
The motion to dismiss reads, the cell phone that would put the defendant at the scene was used by multiple people, and we cannot determine that the defendant was the user of the cell phone during the offense. Additionally, with the video that exists, the driver and occupants of the vehicle are not discernible at the time of the shooting.
He claims that he left his phone in the car that other assailants drove the night of my.
I mean, who hasn't left their phone in the car of that was later used in the drive-by at a block party? Like, come on, man. Press 1 if that's ever happened to you, man. 1. I've done that several times. Like, shit, man, where's my phone? Then I look on the news and I'm like, oh, fuck. Them niggas just shot up a block party. I'm in trouble now, man.
My daughter's murdered.
According to court records, there were multiple shooters that night. Dallas Police Department is refusing to comment on the dismissal or if it has additional suspects, only saying the investigation is ongoing. Searles has not been ruled out to have had some sort of involvement. When Searles' murder charge was dismissed last week, he pleaded guilty to a probation violation stemming from an aggravated robbery in 2020 and was sentenced to 5 years in prison.
So he just got 5 years for a robbery, an unrelated robbery.
Robbery in 2020 and was sentenced to 5 years in prison.
Somebody gonna get caught and they gonna tell.
Jones's family members still heartbroken for her 2 children, a 2-year-old girl and 4-year-old boy.
I basically told him she's in heaven and she's always looking down on him and she loved him.
Records show Searles is still being held here at the Dallas County Jail, so he has not yet been transferred to any sort of prison for.
Jeez. Shout out to Karmelo. Says, would that detective pick up your knife? Yes. It will pick up and amaze the knife. It will pick up the rings on your binder. It will pick up everything. The wire in your bra strap. That detective pick up a lot of stuff, man. Wow.
So I saw this before I went live. It's another one of these, unfortunately, very common tragedies now. You see it all the time. Young white teenager killed by one of these black people. And this is a story. It says, quote, Frisco, Texas, is mourning the heartbreaking loss of Austin Metcalf, a 17-year-old football standout at Memorial High School, who was tragically killed during a UIL track meet Wednesday morning. Police say an altercation between two students escalated quickly during the District 11 5A championships. Austin was stabbed in the chest by Karmelo Anthony, a fellow 17-year-old black student from Frisco Centennial High School. Austin died in the arms of his identical twin brother, Hunter, who tried to stop the bleeding before emergency crews arrived. He wasn't just a football player. He was a leader, 4.0 GPA student, a beloved friend and teammate. He was Memorial's MVP and one of the top defenders in the area. A prayer vigil was held Wednesday evening at Hope Fellowship Church, where he was a regular in the youth group. The church was filled with teammates, classmates, teachers, community members who gathered to honor his life. And this is nothing new, tragically. This type of story, we've heard it before. We've seen it all throughout our lives, maybe close to home. One of these happened actually in my neck of the woods. When I was in high school, there was a beautiful young girl. She lived in a rich suburb. A black man broke into her house, her parents' house. A burglar found her at home. I actually think she came home early from school and found him breaking into the house to burglarize it. He stabbed her dozens of times, killed her brutally, stole her phone, and then was texting and calling the parents, taunting them. And it turned into, obviously, a devastating event for the entire community. It was unbelievable at the high school and all the surrounding suburbs. Nobody could believe it. But as time has gone on, of course, we've all heard or seen a story like this. Like I said, if not in our own neighborhoods, we've seen it on the news. It also happens in other countries, too. It happens in the United Kingdom. It happens in continental Europe, Australia, Canada. And what is so shocking is when you see the two pictures side by side. I'm going to say something really brutally honest here that everybody's thinking, that everybody knows. You see the side by side in this murder of the killer and the victim. And on one side, you see the victim. And it's, and let's be adults here for a second. This is a very handsome young man. Handsome, great looking, 17 years old, 4.0 GPA, playing football, volunteering for the church group. And then on the other side, you have this ugly piece of shit scumbag. And there's something especially wicked about this dynamic. And there's a reason that people don't show the side by side. There's a reason the mainstream media, of course, they don't show the picture of the perpetrator because every time they're going to be black and they don't want people to create a narrative, which should be created, the obvious conclusion. But another reason they don't show the side by side is because they don't want people to see the contrast. And of course, there are white people who are violent too, although I don't think to the same extent and on the same level, and we'll get into that in a second. But there's something especially wicked about the fact that one of them had a future, one of them was a winner, one of them was actually, in many ways, a gift to the world. And on the other side, you have this deadbeat. You have this ugly deadbeat. And there's something especially heinous about someone ugly with no future killing someone who is beautiful with a future. And in some sense, this is something that is echoing across our civilization, which is that our cities are under siege by ugly people that don't produce, that don't build, and they're destroying something that is beautiful. They're destroying the handiwork of a noble people. There's something especially heinous about this. More heinous, for example, than if one beautiful person killed another beautiful person, than if one productive person killed another productive person, than if one civilization waged a war on another civilization in the truest sense of the word. And you see something like this, and on some level, here's another thing that's brutally honest that maybe people aren't going to like. I almost don't even like to see it. I don't even like to see a beautiful white face being portrayed as a victim. Because although people need to see what's happening, although people need to see the reality, on the other hand, I'm getting really sick and tired of broadcasting white people being killed, white people being abused, white people being victimized. I understand there is a political purpose for that. I understand, of course, that it is creating outrage, and so there's, and of course, it's the news. We want to see who's there. But there's something that offends my pride as a white person to constantly see blacks as the predators and whites as the prey, blacks as the killers and whites as the killed. Because on some level, you know that black people take some sort of sick pride in the fact that we live in fear of them. We live in fear of their impulsive, reckless, senseless violence. Somewhere deep down, and it comes out when these things happen, they do take some sort of sick pride.
Hit the like button, man. Smash that like button. I'm going to drop the link in a few. Hit the like button. Smash the like button.
That this is the dynamic, that we are peaceful, that we aren't given to violence, that we can't call upon and summon that kind of brutality in an instant, in a moment, in the way that they can. And on the one hand, while we're very sympathetic to the person who was killed, of course, the killer is at fault. It's almost broadcasting our own weakness. And I hate that. On the flip side, we don't want to see white people going out and killing black people in an equally senseless way. That would be immoral. We don't want to see innocent people being killed on the other side of the racial divide or something like that. And this is where you have the government that comes in. What is offensive to our sensibilities is the lack of justice. That here we are as white people trying to have a civilization, trying to have order, peace, prosperity, beauty, productivity. Here we are trying to have, in a word, civilization. And we are not allowed to be left alone. We are being forced to live among people that refuse to be a part of it. They refuse to be peaceful. They refuse to be sociable, respectful, productive. Any of these things. And of course, we are being indoctrinated with this ideology. Of course, we're being told, it's like in this television show on Netflix. There was a similar story in the United Kingdom. A young black guy stabbed a white girl. They adapted the story for a Netflix television show. They said it's a white boy who killed a girl because he was indoctrinated by Andrew Tate. We're being told that we're the problem. I watched a show on Apple TV or Hulu. It's called Paradise. And in the show, I'm not going to give you any of the spoilers or story, but the main character is a upright, upstanding black man who is the most moral, acts with integrity and conscience, a loving father and husband. And one of the antagonists in the show is a motherless white guy who's brutal and violent. I mean, this is what we're getting from Hollywood when this is the reality. And surely, if this guy were racist, if his parents were racist, if we lived in a racist society, he would still be alive. he would still be walking the earth.
Make sure you hit the like button. Support the channel via PayPal, Cash App, or the Super Chat. Link is in the description. What's going on, man?
He came in hot, man. Let me tell you, like Whitlock said, man, what was different? What him and Jesse Jackson said, no different. Only,
Right.
and now I knew you called it. You know that other show, man. I can't stand his guests. They try to justify that bullshit.
Oh, okay. Hey, man, listen.
But I
That's
kind of
good.
understand. I kind of understand what they were trying to say. They're trying to say that the glider was trying to intimidate and like, don't touch me. But that don't give you the right to stab somebody. I don't want to hear that. But they
And we
had a
don't know,
different.
any of the facts of the case. All we know is that
Exactly.
the guy bold that they seen the black kid in their tent. They were like, hey man, there was some discussion about, hey, this is our tent for our track team. You obviously have on a different track uniform. You need to leave. And of course, we all know that a black kid who's like, hood, and even if he's not hood, if he's a black teen and he's running around with AR-15s and shit, and he's fucking taking pictures with money and middle finger and wiping his nose on the internet and listening to hip hop, he's going to fucking react to that request to move on the basis of you. Listen, that white kid could have gotten on his knees, prostrated himself on the ground in front of that black kid and said, hitherto, ye king, mayest thou removeth thyself from the tent so that our tracketh team may partake of the shade from the sun. And that nigga would have got
Still would have
mad.
still stabbed them.
Why the fuck you said? Not even stab, but that nigga would have said, "Why the fuck you said like that for? Who the fuck you talking to, nigga?" Like, you know what I'm saying? And it would have still been a problem. Now I don't know about this. The stab comes later when after the nigga got an attitude, like we knew he would. They always get attitude, whether you black or white, they gonna get attitude. That has nothing to do with being a white person. If you black, they gonna get attitude for even worse, more so if you black. So nigga got attitude. The white dude didn't back down, and that's something that I think we're used to white dudes backing down, especially if they not like hood adjacent. We're used to white dudes backing down.
And him being a glider playing football, he's like, listen, I already play with brothers, so I can't be scared anyway. So makes sense.
Yeah. And then they say he after the black dude started getting all animated and buck and shit and talking shit, he went to grab the dude's book bag to remove his book bag from the tent. Yeah, once you touch a nigga's property, man, you getting that I can understand that. Like, you asked the black dude to leave. He didn't kill you yet, even though he's mad and shit. Then you touched his property. Yeah, that's you almost basically signed your own death certificate.
Yep.
Yeah. That's you, Ray Wall?
Yeah.
Ray Wall. What's your thoughts, man?
I agree. Once you touch the stuff, you got to be ready to fight for your life, dude.
Yeah, and that's what they were talking about in the other show, so it kind of makes sense. Imagine you do that in East Orange or Newark, Braywall,
Man,
or Irvington. Oof.
more
I th-
writers need to watch your show, Hack, to understand the Negro
yeah.
mindset.
Make sure you share the video, man. What's your thoughts, Mac Knight? You gotta somebody got a lot of feedback. Go ahead. What's your thoughts, Mac Knight?
That's not me, bro. Who's got a
Okay, go
feedback?
ahead. Okay, go
That's
ahead.
you,
What's up?
Waywall.
That's you, Ray Wall. Yeah. Go ahead, Mac Knight.
Well, the issue is this. If we go back to the root cause, single mothers, single black mothers, there's
This
no
ain't single
con.
mother. This is two parent
Nah, I
family.
got a yeah, I got a single mom, man. Nah, that has
I
nothing to
mean,
do.
can I finish or
No,
what?
I'm just
Yeah,
talking about this kid specifically. This kid specifically, he's from a very wealthy family. His family,
I'm talking about
he's
the
like
victim.
Fresh Prince of Bel Air.
The
Oh, the
victim.
victim.
Yeah, yeah. Oh. The suspect is from Fresh Prince of Bel Air.
Yeah,
no, even the victim though, the father and mother not together, but still,
yeah.
they're in the
Nuclear
life.
family.
Well, what we have to understand is, I'm not from Fresh Prince of Bel Air. I grew up in an upper middle class black family, still a single mother. But in the black community, we see this all the time. There's no conflict resolution. It's
Mm-hmm.
literally 0 to 100. It's either
Yeah,
um, I concede to you, or there's violence. There's no conflict resolution. So what I'm saying is like, honestly, I'm just surprised he didn't shoot the kid. That might be a good thing because of his upbringing, because maybe they told him, don't have a gun or anything, and a knife's okay. I had a knife when I was 5, but the point is this, rich or poor. I mean, man, how many rich or poor? I mean, we got millionaire rap stars killing each other. I don't want to hear
exactly.
shit about. I don't want to hear shit about affluence or poverty when we have millionaire rap stars murdering each other every day.
Yep. Yep. Um. Yep.
And not only would his life be spared, and he would get to live out his full potential and his own story, but in addition, all the lives around him would not have been utterly destroyed. His twin brother will never recover from that. His parents will never recover from that. His other loved ones may never recover from this. It's self-inflicted. We're doing it to ourselves. We're telling ourselves, this is okay. We're willing to tolerate a level of injustice. We're willing to tolerate trouble in paradise because of some sort of ideological commitment to equality or something like that. White guilt. And it's so funny. It's not funny. It's sort of interesting. I started to think about what are we going to do about this? People get very angry. You see these people, they're so smug. And you wonder, how can we wipe the smug satisfaction off of their faces when these black people are killing white people? Well, it's obvious. You think about vigilantism. You think we can't have that. We've been deprived of justice. We think the state must intervene with brutal violence. You think this killer needs to be made an example of. This young man who killed a beautiful young white person who was productive and was going to contribute to society, he should be made an example of by the law. They should give him the death penalty. And then I thought, that's not good enough. It's not enough that he gets the death penalty. I started to think, how can we send a message to these killers? How can we send a message? We need a public execution. And then I thought about it. You have this persistent problem of brutality from blacks, brutal, merciless, senseless violence from adolescent black men. I think there has to be something done about it. Maybe vigilantism, maybe the state. I say the only answer to these people that do not listen to reason, that do not listen, is to match in an organized way with the state, because we're not about mob action. We're not about senseless vengeance. That's
There's
not
no way
who
to
we
match
are.
that.
Those aren't our
There's no way to match
morals.
that.
What we want is justice. We have a state to administer justice. I said, so we should deliver the death penalty in equal measure to the killer. And in order to send that message, we have to do it in public. And then I thought, wait a second, we've just
Somebody listened to your video.
There's no way to match that.
I said somebody's listening to your video. Public lynching.
Yeah, man, it's rough, man.
What I'm saying is there's no way to match that level of violence. There's no way to match that level of disregard for human life. I mean, let's be honest, man. Like, if white people really wanted to wipe us out, bro, me included, bro, and I'm about that life, I could hang with y'all for a little bit, bro. It would be over in a week. There's no way to match that, man.
Gliders won't do it though because
And what Texas man says he thought
they're just, it's in their DNA. They think they can fix it. So.
A North Texas man says he thought he was going to die when he looked down to see his wounds after he'd been stabbed and carjacked. The attack happened in the parking lot of a Fort Worth restaurant over the weekend. The victim says he was actually trying to help the suspect out when that person attacked him. Fox 4's David Centenary spoke with the victim and joins us live. David.
Yeah, Steve, that 28.
This is today, North Texas, same area.
8-year-old victim says he was trying to buy food for that person who was asking him for money, but instead that person reportedly turned on him with a knife and started swiping nearly a dozen times.
Clearly, he doesn't make the best decisions.
While waiting on a to-go order at Waffle House off West Rendon Crowley Road in South.
Clearly, he doesn't make the best decisions, so we know it's a white guy. That's the victim.
Fort Worth overnight Saturday, Jackson Oltmans says someone knocked on his car window asking for money.
And he told me he was just trying to get some food.
Oltmans decided to order the man food.
Sir, you clearly don't make the best decisions. You should have got the fuck up out of there, man. And listen,
hang on. That might be one of my boys, man. Let him cook.
All right, man. Listen, I think you when you're a white guy, me, I would have just been like this. I would have just put my hand up and like, nah, and he would have walked away. But a white guy, it's a different, like, homeless and vagrant and transient blacks are different. We see it on the train all the time towards black people, towards, sun men, than they are towards white. You agree with that though, right?
Well, yeah, man, but that's not your typical white guy, right? All right, I can game recognize game, right? I see the tattoos, tight shirt, hat. That nigga got a gun, bro. Let's see how it plays.
But did the Sun Man consider that?
Rendon Crowley Road in South Fort Worth overnight Saturday, Jackson Oltmans says someone knocked on his car window asking for money.
And he told me he was just trying to get some food.
Oltmans decided to order the man food.
I opened my car, I was going to go get him some food. And literally the second I opened my door to step out, he just starts stabbing me.
Fort Worth Police Department says Quindarius Cartwright.
He was right about ugly, man. That's an ugly motherfucker right there, man. God, dog. That's one ugly one. Quindarius. That's an ugly motherfucker, man. I'd love to see the side by side of that, man. Make sure y'all support the channel via PayPal, Cash App, and Super Chat. Hit the like button. This is that's one ugly motherfucker, boy.
He cross-eyed like Debo too.
I opened my door to step out, he just starts stabbing me.
Fort Worth Police Department says Quindarius Cartwright is the man who cut Oltmans in the face and chest. Photos of the bloody gash are too graphic to broadcast.
Genuinely thought I was going to die. It was so much blood. Walked in Waffle House. They were freaking out. I mean, I'm sure it's probably a traumatic thing for anyone to watch.
Video of Oltmans' recovery shows his swollen face and stitches.
Most of the stab wounds to the body weren't really too bad. It was just when he stabbed stabbed me in the face that was like, it was really bad.
On top of injuries, Cartwright
Look how
reportedly
good.
stole.
Look how good the white guys taking it. Y'all are something. No, y'all take this stuff really well.
It's embarrassing, man.
Yeah, man. Y'all are good sports about getting fucked up. And listen, it, for blacks, man, we're thankful, man, because we don't want a race war.
Most of the stab wounds, like to the body, weren't really too bad. It was just when he stabbed me in the face that was like, it was really bad.
On top of injuries, Cartwright reportedly stole Altman's car and joyrode it to a strip club in North Fort Worth. Cartwright was arrested nearby.
He definitely hit
He took his car to the strip club.
something pretty good, and it's messed up the wheel.
Altman's recently purchased his 2024 Toyota Camry. The 28-year-old works several jobs, including DoorDash, a job he was doing the night he was stabbed by someone he was trying to help.
I can't tell you how many times I've been asked for.
Yeah, this should be a big story too, man. This right here, the fact that this is just like there's a tsunami of these stories that just, this is every day on the news. We just do this every day. But this is a huge story. This white guy, productive, like Nick Fuentes said, very productive, working multiple jobs. Very nice. You can see he's a nice guy, dynamite guy.
Well, I'll say this right now, man. I was wrong. Shit. He's not about that life. But goddamn, if the roles were reversed, bro, like if the roles were reversed and this guy right here had turned the tables on this poor homeless man just asking for a meal, goddamn.
Let's be honest, man. Let's be honest. If Roland Martin, was it 2 weeks ago? He was wearing a Texas A&M gear, and a white guy asked him, did he play for, or was he a fan? And he got on the internet and made a big deal about that. That was national news. Remember?
Yeah, it was crazy, man. We heard about that shit for like 3 months, bro.
It's like, yo, this white guy would not have to do all of the same shit that the black guy did for it to be a national racial incident.
For money or whatever by homeless people or just, people out in the streets. And, typically good nature is just to like want to do a good deed for them. But I mean, I learned that night, man, you got to be very careful about, who you're willing to help out, because sometimes they will take advantage of that good nature.
Cartwright is charged with aggravated robbery. Bond is set at $150,000, being held over at the Tarrant County Jail. Steve, back to you.
All right.
Aggravated robbery, not attempted murder. Wow.
Nope.
Yo, Ak, I think the problem is the gliders, they can't.
And welcome to the Factor Uncensored. Thank
you. I said they can't fathom the idea of savagery like that. Like it doesn't even cross their mind.
They can, bro, but society tells them that society
they've lost their ways. They've lost their ways.
Society messes with their computer programming, right? We all have instincts, okay? We all have instincts that we understand and we should listen to, but society tells them that
override that shit.
It overrides it, yes.
Yep. Because they weren't like this in the 60s or the 70s when they were doing serial killer shit, and now they're just.
No, I think they were though. Listen, this is, you got to understand, like, for instance, like when we hear about the Wild West and the saloons and the shootouts, that stuff was very, very overblown. Billy the Kid only killed 4 people. This is a lot of this is due to civilization, right? White people create societies, right? They create civilizations because that comes from their collective mind. So they respect the mores and the values and the customs of the civilizations. Black people, where we see black people, we have a different type of civilization, but if you could call it a civilization, but we have, it's not the same thing, right? So when we are thrust as we are into a white society, we're out of place. We're out of place. Like, think about a black dude on the train with his earpods in, rapping at the top of his lungs on a crowded train full of people that just got off of the work or during rush hour, and he does not give a flying fuck about any of those people's experiences. He's vibing the Kodak and he's rapping and he's just minding his business. He's in his own space. And you know what I'm saying? Or the black person that's, talking on their cell phone, loud as shit about all their personal business and shit on the bus. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
They're
there's a
not.
gap though. There's a gap, man. There's a big gap, from the let's say 50s to now. There's a gap, right? There's a gap when a black person wouldn't even look at a white person in the eye.
That's not
And
true though.
and, and
We
now
debunked that. We debunked that.
I don't believe that.
Debunked that. We debunked that. Niggas was out of control back in the days, man. It was just when it got to a boiling point, white people would come grab your ass out the jail and hang you from the closest tree. They would come to the jail, get your ass, hold the sheriff and the deputy at gunpoint, and hang you at the closest tree. But the majority of the time, during segregated places, if the black people stayed in their space, they was fine. If there was in black people, I don't think black people were scared of white people at all. I think it was just segregation. Like, you can't come in this building. You know what I'm saying? This building, you can't come in this restaurant and shit like that. And I don't think it was any fear other than that. And black people accepted that because they were born into it. But
and
as
that's
far as
fine. I
like,
mean, scared or not is irrelevant, man. I mean, if I got roaches and they scared of me, that's irrelevant, man. White people handle that shit. I put poison down for the roaches. They don't have to be scared of me. But it was, roaches don't have to be scared of you. You just have to take steps to control the roaches. And white people used to control the roaches, and now they're out of control.
well, they had segregation. They had the old immigration law where the immigrants had to come from white countries. But once they integrated and they integrated and did the Hart-Celler Immigration Act all within the span of like 5 years. So they just dumped a lot of shit in their own lap. So it's like you go from the black people over there and we're over here to the black people over here, and we letting motherfuckers from Uganda in 90 going north. You know what I'm saying? To the country. So it's like they got caught up in the wave, and now here we are.
And welcome to The Factor Uncensored. Thank you for joining us tonight. First up, a star athlete in Frisco, Texas, killed after getting stabbed after a confrontation with another student. Tonight, another student is in custody as well. Here's what we know so far. 17-year-old Austin Metcalf was at ULI championship track meet Wednesday morning. According to investigators, 17-year-old Karmelo Anthony was allegedly told Metcalf was sitting in the wrong seat when he pulled out a knife and stabbed Metcalf in the heart. His twin brother tried to save him, but he later died at the hospital. Tonight, Greg Dupree of TLAC Now has more on the case. But first, we hear from the victim's father, who says he has forgiven his son's alleged killer already and shared his last words to his son.
Yeah, that's like, damn, that's disrespectful to his son. Like, I find that disrespectful to your sons. Like forgiven already. Like, nah, bro, that's disrespectful.
Here's a report from Fox.
He was going to turn out to be a great individual and impact this world with positivity.
17-year-old Austin Metcalf was voted MVP of the Frisco Memorial High School varsity football team. The linebacker held a near-perfect GPA and was in the National Honor Society.
He was on the right track. He was doing everything right. I was so proud.
Jeff Metcalf never imagined that his son's future would be cut short.
I'm still in shock.
Wednesday morning, Austin Metcalf was at a District 11 5A track meet at Kirkendall Stadium. Around 10 a.m., Frisco police say 17-year-old Karmelo Anthony stabbed Metcalf in the chest after some sort of fight. Jeff Metcalf says it was Austin's twin brother, Hunter Metcalf, who tried to save him.
And his brother was holding him trying to hold the blood in, and he passed. My son watched his brother die in his arms.
It's unclear how Anthony got the knife into the meat or what exactly led up to the fight. Anthony is now facing first-degree murder charges, and Jeff Metcalf
It was the best weekend ever.
is only left with memories.
I was able to watch and be blessed so much to having both my sons are amazing.
When Jeff Metcalf was diagnosed with cancer 9 years ago, his boys were his strength.
Wow, look at that picture. That's a beautiful picture. Press one if you agree that it's disrespectful for this guy to forgive that ape before the ape even asked for forgiveness. Now, if that nigga asked for forgiveness, then that's something to you. But he hasn't even asked for forgiveness, and you know he's gonna make an excuse like, "Man, I ain't do, man. The nigga, man, the white dude, the white nigga, he gonna call you son all type of niggas and shit. The white nigga, he grabbed me, he grabbed my stuff, man. I ain't told that white nigga to get the phone." You know what I'm saying? And he's not gonna take responsibility for it, and he's gonna try to, put the onus on your son, and you forgiving him before he's asked for it. That's disrespectful to your son, I think.
Not really. I mean, dude, he was diagnosed with cancer 9 years ago, trying to make it right with God and whatnot. I mean,
I got you on that.
Plus he's programmed.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, even if he didn't have the cancer and all that stuff, he would probably say some shit like that. We've seen it dozens and dozens of times. Everyone hit the like button, man. Smash that like button. We're trying to get 8,000 likes, man. Everybody smash the like button. Please, please, please smash the like button.
Now cancer-free, it's his faith that's keeping him strong.
And when I kissed his forehead today, as his body was cold, I ran my fingers through his hair. I told him, it's not goodbye. It's see you later. I'll join you at some point too, son. You just beat me to this place.
Wednesday night, the family's church opened its doors for the community to gather for a prayer vigil to honor a young man whose life touched so many.
But I know he's with the Lord. And I take comfort and peace in that.
Amelia Jones, Fox News.
shit's
right here in
tragic,
Frisco where I
bro.
live. It's
tragic. Shit's fucking tragic, bro. God damn. Like, real talk, man.
I
Dude
live.
survived cancer.
And to be honest, this is uncharacteristic of this community, and as a tragedy nonetheless. And it just goes to show you that something like this can happen anywhere. But from what I've been able to gather is that there was some type of dispute at this track meet, which I guess neither one of these kids were participating in. And
So there goes the tent that's in dispute. So he was the Sun team was hot, man. He like, shit, I'm hot as shit, man. I'm gonna sit in that tent. I mean, right there, I mean, I can't knock him for that. But then if he was told, once he was told, he did. But then if you got to tell him to leave, at this point, the white people are just supposed to sit there quietly and just act like he's not there. And you know what I'm saying? It just, yeah.
What?
Yeah, that's
What? Hell no, man. Get the fuck out of here, man. I'm telling you, eat your ass over there.
oh man, hell no.
it was an altercation or a disagreement over a seat, and I guess a argument ensued, and Anthony pulled out a knife and stabbed the young man to death.
And Austin, the victim, his twin brother was there.
These brothers, I listen. They ain't gonna be able to shoot this straight for a little while. They're gonna start making excuses and talking about whataboutisms any second now, man. I can tell, man, because they've shot it straight so far, but niggas is incapable of keeping it a 1,000 on racial issues.
There. And it's understanding that he witnessed all of this, his twin brother, which is like a part of him being murdered.
Right. Yeah, Austin Metcalf's twin brother was right next to him, and he said that, by the time his brother had been stabbed and he turned around to see what had happened, it was too late. He couldn't do anything to save him, other than just hold him until he passed away. It's a very sad thing to happen, to lose your brother, especially a twin brother, just like that in a moment, in the blink of an eye.
And of course, this story has caught the nation's attention. What is it like there in your area after this occurred there? What are people saying? Are they in shock as well?
Oh, yeah, the whole community is shocked. They're, reevaluating their security procedures at schools and at school events, and
Yeah, you got metal detectors at track meets now.
Hey, Ak, I'm just curious. How come they never try to call security or anything?
What do you mean?
You know what I mean? Like, isn't that what they're there for? I mean, if I was in that kind of situation, I would pass.
Probably not
Nah,
security.
there's security. There was security,
Hang on,
man. It just
bro. I work security, bro. That shit happened way too fast.
exactly.
You can have security out the ass, bro. Unless there's like controlled access and metal detectors, bro. You see something going down, man. It looks like an argument or fight, or maybe two guys are just playing around, play wrestling. You don't know until you get there. So don't talk about security like that.
When you're in a track meet in high school, security's on the floor towards the track field. So there's no way they could have got there quick enough.
No, I'm saying like he could have called security to have the guy removed. That's what I'm saying.
You talking about the glider? Yes, he could have did that. But
if
he took
it
the
came to that, though,
initiative.
you don't understand how quick this stuff happens, bro. Like you don't understand how quick.
What he's saying is don't engage, but what he's saying, hold on, but what he's saying is if let's just say they're all sitting in their tent, right, under their tent, and the sun man's just sitting right there, he's just sitting right there, minding, how sun men are, they just minding his business, not being gregarious. It's not like he's like, hey, so what school you guys from? Oh, really? I know so for that. Yeah, well, courses you guys take. No, some man just sitting there like, you know what I'm saying, in the middle of their tent. You know what I'm saying? He not like ingratiating them. So they probably like, they probably just like, yeah, I agree with you as freak though, Louis. It's like, yo, you don't engage. You don't engage. Like I was talking about the other day about
Caitlin. Yeah, but you call security and all of a sudden you're racist. Because
that definitely you would have been called a racist, and he probably would have bucked on security. But that kid would have probably bucked on the security, because the security at the fucking at the track meet ain't holding. He probably not carrying a gun, so the sun man probably would have bucked on the security. But that's like he said, that's what the security is for. Let the sun man buck on the security.
Security guy would have got stabbed.
Yeah, that's his job though. His job is to get stabbed by the sun man.
He could pepper spray, huh?
No, but I got that. I think that would be the safest course of action. To don't engage. Yeah, once you engaged, like I'm sure I know white people, so I'm sure someone probably said, "Hey, how you doing, man?" And he probably like, "Huh," and they turn back around. They probably tried to make contact with, just some kind of overture or something like that before it was like, this tent is for people from Memorial High School and you're from Sentinel, so you're gonna have to ask you to leave. And oh God, yeah, that was just saying it makes me cringe, man.
It made me think, we have metal detectors and all kinds of security measures at other sporting events throughout the country. Does this mean now that we need to do the same thing at these high school events? To me, in my opinion, I think we should. If you can save one life, by all means, we should have some type of extra security procedures in place at these high school events.
Greg, what we had here was a simple disagreement, a simple argument. How can it elevate to something like this where you're accused of stabbing someone to death?
Well,
at such a young age, I don't think that's very young.
Well, I don't think it's as much as the argument of what the argument is about. I think it's where we are today and where our children are today. There is an extreme level of violence being perpetrated by a lot of these younger kids. Isaiah, we did the show last week on the 764 and that cult and how violent that cult is, and it's all involving young kids. It's just
764 cult. Okay.
Young black kids.
Hold on, guys.
Yeah.
YN, bro.
But
Aqua's right. He's doing nigger babble.
First of all,
764 code. What the fuck is that?
these niggas can't hear what we saying because neither one of them have ears. But you know,
Yeah, man. I don't know. Yeah, I feel you on that. Yeah, but he said with a
all right, bro.
Where
764
we
I'm out,
are,
bro.
code.
I'm out.
the level of
I'm just out. I'm
violence
out,
being
bro. That's enough
displayed
for
by
me.
these kids today is unheard of. But I don't want to say it's a new normal, but it appears to be. You got everything going on from incidents like this to kids killing their parents. It's
What do you
nothing.
think it's
So he cited as his speaking about the violence in America between young people. He cited the 764 cult. So that's this satanist neo-Nazi cult. That's what that nigga cited when he cited the violence amongst young people.
he doesn't cite the fucking millions of Sun people or thousands of Sun kids in Chicago or Philly and their flash
In
mob.
Dallas, in Texas, what do you mean? In Texas.
No,
You
I'm
don't
saying,
got
but it's nationwide. It's like it's a trend nationwide. It's mostly
But
Sun kids.
what I'm saying though is you don't have to go to Chicago. Like I'm from DC. I don't ever have to mention Chicago when I talk about crime. I don't ever have to mention Baltimore. I don't have to be like, yeah, what about the kids in Baltimore? When they right down a fucking street.
That's what I'm saying. Whenever they're sons, it's more prevalent for Sun teens to act out. Like, you know what I mean? Like blacks, I mean, sons, they wanna cite white groups like, like this 746 whatever cult or the Ku Klux Klan or the fucking skinheads. But how many Klansmen are there in America? Some estimates are like 6,000. How many gang members are out there? Like 1 million. You know what I mean? They're always passing the buck. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. It's just crazy, man. Unbelievable that nigga had the audacity to bring up the 764 cult. When we got rappers just in Texas, let's just talk about two incidents in Texas. Yella Beezy, the rapper, millionaire, paid to kill Mo 3. He was just charged with murder, first degree murder for hiring for the 2020 murder of Mo 3 for murder for hire. Sauce Walker from Texas was in Memphis with his artist. They both got shot. His artist got killed. The gunman who killed them was found dead behind a mall in Houston, killed execution style. And that's just two rappers from Texas in the last 2 weeks. And this nigga, and that's not even all the street shit. All the gang shit is going on 90 going north. This nigga brought up the 764 cult, who I'd never heard of until he just mentioned them. Personally.
High school events.
Greg, what we had here was a simple disagreement, a simple argument. How can it elevate to something like this where you're accused of stabbing someone to death at such a young age? Both victims very young.
Well, I don't think it's as much as the argument of what the argument is about. I think it's where we are today and where our children are today. There is an extreme level of violence being perpetrated by a lot of these younger kids. Isaiah, we did the show last week on the 764 and that cult and how violent that cult is, and it's all involving young kids. It's just where we are. The level of violence being displayed by these kids today is unheard of. But I don't want to say it's a new normal, but it appears to be. You got everything going on from incidents like this to kids killing their parents. It's nothing.
What do you think is contributing to this, and what can be done about this? Obviously, you are a parent, that hasn't been murdered by your child, because we recently had a case where a young man in the northern part of the United States, and I wanted to take a look at this, and we probably will, killed his mom and his stepdad recently. So, I mean, what can parents do short?
So now they're talking about a bunch of white kids that killed their parents. I'm looking up the 764 code. I see a lot of violence. They tackle a bunch of old people. I
But
only
how
see
many?
one murder. I only
But
see one murder.
that's what I'm going to say. How many of them have they actually? How many people have the 764 people club actually killed? Zero.
I've only seen one, and they're in Brazil, they're in UK, they're in Canada, and they're in America. So in all four of those countries, and in Sweden, um, I've only seen there's been a bunch of stabbings, but I've only seen one murder in four countries. But I'm still looking.
I bet you that murder was in Brazil.
Now the murder was he killed one of them, stabbed an old lady, and an 82-year-old lady, she died. No, 74-year-old lady, and she died.
Where was it?
Hold on. Because I have to look through all the cases to find, and I gotta go back. Okay. Roma. Where's 70-year-old Nino Luciano Roma? Stranded in Kazakhstan. Live stream attack is 82-year-old March 22nd. 2 weeks later, he live streamed his fatal stabbing of the 74-year-old woman whom he believed to be Roma. Okay, so she was a gypsy. He stabbed a gypsy woman to death. I'm trying to think about where this is at.
It's not in the USA. I'll tell you that much right now.
Kyrgyzstan.
Yeah, it's in Central Asia.
Yeah, Kyrgyzstan. So they're in that country too.
But that's not even relevant to here because it's not American white kids. Like that's not even.
But that's
American
the closest thing he could find to switch the subject. Like he's talking about all the crime that's going on with young people, and he mentioned the 764 that nobody had ever heard of until today, till just now.
See how they're grasping at straws?
But didn't I tell you they were going to eventually do that? Because they was keeping it too real at first. The way they came in, they were like, "Oh yeah, he murdered this guy in cold blood. And this is just a shame." I was like, "Oh, these niggas, they can't keep this up."
See, not becoming a victim themselves, what can they do with these children they love? But these children, in some instances, will turn on them and kill them.
Exactly. And well, parents have to come to the realization that they need to be more cautious and more aware of their children's behavior and their children's attitude. What is the level of aggression in your child? Does your child overreact to certain situations?
Look at the B-roll. These niggas are hilarious, man.
Situations get increased, very angry as a result of something that has happened. You need to monitor those type of things. And unfortunately, you have to be prepared as a parent if your child has that level of aggression where they become a threat to you.
Wow. This is shameful, man.
Those kids clearly have developmental issues. Like, just look at them, the way they're running around and shit. Like this is a sign that their narrative is starting to collapse. Like, they can't just listen to them and look at the examples they're providing. Like see how hard they're grasping at straws here.
Man, they got a limited word salad, man. They're gonna keep this up, man.
And they got white liberals. They got white liberals too. Like white people are
not just white liberals, white women liberals. Ugh.
Yeah, exactly. Like white women liberals will always come through in the clutch for sons or Muslims or some shit. Anything like that.
That matter. You need to be prepared to call law enforcement in, or somebody to come in and deal with that situation.
Giving women the right to vote was the worst mistake
these tragedies where these parents are being killed by their kids. Some of those parents, I guarantee you, believe that they could handle the situation, or the situation wasn't that bad. You can't take that chance today.
And of course, what you just said was very important, that most parents need to realize or should realize. In some instances, you have children that you simply can't handle. And it's okay. Even though you're the parent, you have to be honest with yourself and say, I can't handle this kid.
Right.
And no.
All right, this is just an absolutely heartbreaking story. A high school athlete fatally stabbed in the chest at a track meet in Texas. It happened on Wednesday morning after telling a fellow student that he was in the wrong place. 17-year-old Austin Metcalf died in his twin brother's arms. His father, Jeff Metcalf, is speaking out about the tragedy, and Jeff joins us now. First of all, Jeff, let me just start by saying that there aren't words to express how shocked and saddened we are by your loss. And as a parent of a 14-year-old boy and an older man who's now making his own way in the world, I just can't imagine how you're facing the rest of your life without your son.
Yeah, I don't want to keep hearing the dad talk. This shit is annoying. I don't want to hear the mother talk either. Jesus Christ. Jeez.
This morning, Frisco Memorial High School honored the student who was stabbed to death at a track meet
Pantheon is in the
yesterday.
back chat.
Police say 17-year-old Austin.
Pantheon is in the back chat.
Pantheon, have you heard of the 764 group? She muted. Salute to Jim Sefton, man. Across the pond.
This morning, Frisco Memorial High School honored the student who was stabbed to death at a track meet yesterday. Police say 17-year-old Austin Metcalf was killed by a Frisco ISD student. Metcalf's father hopes the incident leads to security changes. Alex.
Hi, Clarice. You know, during second period today, all Frisco ISD schools took a moment to really acknowledge Austin Metcalf's life. I'm told also that district and campus counselors were on hand today to help students and staff process exactly what happened yesterday. Now, police still have not said how that knife got into the stadium. Meanwhile, Metcalf's mother and twin brother spoke on Fox News this afternoon.
I pushed my hand up there, trying to make it stop, and I grabbed his head and I looked in his eyes. I just saw his soul leave, and it took my soul too.
I'm so sorry. Hunter Metcalf described his twin brother Austin's final moments as he lay dying in his brother's arms. On Wednesday, Memorial High School junior Austin Metcalf was stabbed to death while attending a UIL District 11-5A track meet in Frisco, and many questions remain unanswered. Police say 17-year-old Karmelo Anthony, who attends Centennial High School, stabbed Metcalf in the chest in the stands. Metcalf's father believes the fight started over a seating dispute.
I pray that, maybe there's changes made as far as security or things like that, and maybe we can learn from this and try to turn a tragedy into something positive to make sure it doesn't happen to anyone else's child. I don't want parents to feel like I feel today.
Shortly after the deadly encounter, a district spokesperson said that the stadium was immediately secured and students were released and sent back to their home campus on Frisco ISD buses.
Crime doesn't discriminate age, and that unfortunately victimization can happen at any time, at any moment, even when we think that we are safe.
Dr. Alex Del Carmen is a criminologist. Neither the district nor the Frisco Police Department have said what security measures were in place at the stadium on the day of the fatal stabbing. Del Carmen says no doubt the district and police will be looking closely at this.
And what likely will happen is, they're going to look into the suspect's background and find out whether or not there's been signs that perhaps were missed by the family, by the school, and by law enforcement. I think that what really this does invite is a bigger discussion, which is, how much are we willing to give up in terms of our freedoms, in terms of the things that we take for granted for the sake of protection.
And the track meet, of course, was suspended yesterday. Frisco ISD tells us that it has been rescheduled for next week, but did not release further details to us. Meanwhile, I can tell you that Anthony remains in jail on a $1 million bond charged with murder.
I don't even know what the group she was over.
Morning,
Yeah.
can you hear me?
Hey, what's up?
Yes, hi. Morning, it's been a hot minute. So I heard this yesterday. This one hurt my heart, it really did. So apparently they're saying that Austin and the Karmelo guy got into it the day before, and Austin somehow broke Karmelo's phone, and they were also fighting over a girl. I don't know how true. I don't know how true it is. So the next day, which was the track meet, it was meant to be.
Are you serious? You're joking,
No,
right?
This is what I heard, because some people in comments were like, "Oh, I went to school with the Karmelo. This is what it is." I don't know how true it is. So the day of the fight or the track meet, it was meant to be. I think Karmelo came to fight Austin, and obviously I think went into their school's tent, and then it was like, "We need to move."
Flooding the zone. They had never met each other. That was the first time they had met.
Yeah, so I don't know, but either way, like this one really hurt. Like, I don't know. It's such a guy with potential, and then this gremlin like took him out.
Wow, that is crazy. Black people are really going there on making up shit. That's crazy. Let's do this one.
Those are the Chinese whispers I heard. So,
wow.
Tonight, a man pulled a gun on employees of a local restaurant who refused to give him the Wi-Fi password. That man has.
You gotta be kidding me, yo. Just when you think you can't make this shit up, yo. It's the best show in the world right now.
See, you know what niggas is doing by trying to like add all these additional like facts and these scenarios? They're trying to make it seem like it takes a lot for a Sun Man to kill you.
Yeah, that you have to push them to the limit. It's like, no, they're happy.
They
have no emotional regulation.
Especially when they're armed. Like when they're armed, there's literally nothing.
False confidence.
Like you're fucked if he's armed. Now, if he's not armed, you're still in a bad shape, but if he's armed, you are screwed.
Tonight, a man pulled a gun on employees of a local restaurant who refused to give him the Wi-Fi password. That man has now facing several charges against him.
Fox 5's Denise Dillon is live in Cobb County tonight. Denise, police caught up with him rather quickly.
Yeah, he didn't get very far. Police say the employees at this restaurant who had the gun in their faces called 911. Officers raced over here, and when they got here, they found the man just across the street at this hotel.
The suspect was denied access to the Wi-Fi. He took it to extreme levels.
Cobb County police say this man, Zakor Garrett, was so angry he couldn't get access to the Wi-Fi, he took it out on the employees working the drive-thru at this Chipotle on South Cobb Drive.
The suspect decided to escalate the situation and brandish a firearm and began pointing it at employees.
When officers showed up, they found Garrett across the street at this hotel. Investigators say he had tossed the gun in a trash can.
This firearm actually came back stolen out of Atlanta. This guy probably knew that the police were on their way and likely just discarded of it because he knew he wasn't supposed to have it.
Garrett was taken into custody, but his anger still simmered. Police say while officers were trying to adjust his handcuffs, he punched one of them.
The suspect swung at the officer, striking him, causing minor injuries.
And while in the back seat of the patrol car, he kicked out a camera. And again, police say it all started with him not being able to connect to the Wi-Fi.
We're living in tough times. Ever since the pandemic, people are losing more screws.
I think especially in Atlanta lately, they pull out guns.
You know, it's the pandemic's fault. Leave it to a nigga to say some nigga, you 50, 60 years old, nigga. This was going on your entire life, man. What are you talking about the pandemic? This nigga probably been in prison before. Yeah, I'm just the pandemic, man.
Sons are wicked, man. Wicked people.
Striking him, causing minor injuries.
And while in the back seat,
he kicked out the cameras in the back seat of the patrol car.
he punched one of them.
The suspect swung at the officer, striking him, causing minor injuries.
And while in the back seat of the patrol car, he kicked out a camera. And again, police say it all started with him not being able to connect to the Wi-Fi.
We're living in tough times. Ever since the pandemic, people are losing more screws.
I think especially in Atlanta lately, they pull out guns and do some crazy things. That is absolutely insane. We're not required to have Wi-Fi.
And in addition to the 6 charges that Garrett faces here in Cobb County, police tell me that he has 3 outstanding warrants from another county. Reporting live in Cobb County, Danae Stillen, Fox 5.
See, if it was a Sun Country, the cop would have shot him as soon as he hit him.
Right.
He would have known not to do it.
Great to have you with us. I'm Joe Donlon. A Chicago woman felt unsafe on the L, so she pulled out her phone, and now police are using that as evidence.
Oh, God. She felt it safe for the trade. Give me an ID on this guy. Give me an ID. Man, make sure y'all support the channel, man. You ain't going to get this nowhere else, man. It's the only channel that's going to give you this, man. The real, the raw, every night, man. Make sure you support this channel, man, so we can keep bringing you this. Keep bringing you this. Keep bringing you this funky stuff, man. Who do you think did this, man? Somebody said a neighbor. Okay, let's see, man.
Patel.
Patel, okay.
Good afternoon. I'm Erica Sargent.
Great to have you with us. I'm Joe Donlon. A Chicago woman felt unsafe on the L, so she pulled out her phone, and now police are using that as evidence after they charged a man with 7 felonies, including violent and sexual acts.
In a story you'll see only on CBS News Chicago, our Sarah Maki is live with how that young woman may have helped show a pattern for a suspected CTA predator. Sarah.
Yeah, guys, Bree Williams was taking the Brown line like she does most mornings, but a man sat down next to her on a otherwise empty train car. He started touching her, harassing her, so she turned her phone camera on him. Now she says that man got off of the CTA at this platform, but the incident didn't end here. She took the video to social media. Turns out she's not alone. We wanted to know what can be done to keep riders safe, so we took that question to the CTA.
When I looked up, he was standing in front of me, and the rest of the train was pretty empty.
To be like sitting next to me like this, can you move over there, please?
I know, but I'm trying to be a friend.
Please stop touching me.
Bree Williams says she already had her phone out in her hand when a man sat next to her, March 18th, putting his leg on hers, trying to touch her. She said she told him to move, but he initially refused.
A lot of black people says terrible camera people.
No, I wouldn't even say it's son. I think it's young
man
woman.
walks to the door.
More.
Huh?
No, I said camera aspect of this. I would say it's more young woman more than the ethnicity. But her first mistake was watching him come to her feet and not standing up. Because it's happened before, like on a bus or train, and you're just like, what the hell are they doing? But you have to stay by an exit, and you can still speak to them like, what the hell are you doing? But you don't trap yourself in by sitting. Like immediately you get up and you go near the exit.
Doing threats as he steps through the door and
There we go. Yeah, that's the son.
onto the platform.
Now play with me if you want to.
Damn, man. Jeez.
And so I just started recording because I didn't know what was about to happen.
cute,
So
man.
I wanted to make sure that I had
She's
some.
cute. She just very young, man. She look like she
Yeah, that's a
probably
little girl,
15.
man. He was on some Tesla
Yeah.
shit, man.
That's a lot girl, like 15 years old, man.
Nah, she's older than
Documentation of
that.
something.
This video
He's so 17. Let's see. Hold on. Let me see how.
Looks like he's in college, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
Okay. Let's see.
And so I just started recording
Like,
because I didn't know
yeah,
what was
she might
about
be
to
18,
happen.
yeah.
So I wanted to make sure that I had some type of documentation of something.
This video is just one time Robert Cook apparently has been caught on camera. Many of his alleged crimes reported around CTA stops. Chicago police say the 47-year-old now faces 1 felony count of aggravated criminal sexual abuse involving an underage victim and 2 felony counts of criminal sexual abuse or force, plus 4 felony aggravated battery involving a transit employee. Williams recorded her video near the Washington Wabash station March 18th, but police told us they linked him to incidents February 10th near the Wilson station and June 2nd last year near Morse
Yo, he
station.
got a rap
But we
sheet like
found even
CVS.
more. May 22nd last year at the Lake Red Line stop.
Chicago police want to identify that man that you see right there. He's wanted for punching a CTA passenger in the face.
And in 2017, Cook was accused of groping 2 people on CTAL platforms, including a 15-year-old high school student. So what happens if someone is a
He like a
serial
young
offender?
freshman,
As far back as
right?
2003, CTA was adding people to a banned passengers list for a year as part of a repeat offender initiative.
I'm not sure if they, still have it or not, but I think that something should be done to help protect people against repeat offenders.
We found more than a dozen other people on social media saying that they are also victims of Cook's harassment. And we wanted to know if the CTA still bans passengers. Well, we've been asking them for the past week, but still no answer. From the Loop, Sarah Maki, CBS News, Chicago.
This is what they voted for.
Tonight, we have new information from the deadly stabbing at a high school track meet.
Since 5 o'clock, Frisco police released the arrest report that details the moment officers arrived at the scene. The arresting officer writes when he reported he had an alleged suspect. The officer said,
this kid is 5'9", 130. He's a shrimp. And the white kid was 6'1", 220. So yeah, he had to stab him, man. I'm telling you, yeah. And
that's the angle that they're probably going to play.
Yeah, he's born in Baton Rouge. Oh yeah, he's from fucking Baton Rouge, but he lives in Frisco now, so he might have been raised in Baton Rouge, because Frisco's a very affluent neighborhood.
Arrived at the scene. The arresting officer writes when he reported he had an alleged suspect. The officer said Karmelo Anthony said he did it. According to the arrest report, the tragic event began with the suspect sitting under another.
Look, Liberty has their own tent. So this wasn't the only school with their own tent.
Hey, Ak, is there any word on this guy's parents?
Apparently, he comes from a nice home.
Is he adopted or?
No, I mean, like I gotta go to Facebook for that. Let me just.
Team's tent as rain fell and being told to move.
Oh, so it started raining. Damn, so a brother can't get under the tent. It started raining. Now, listen, that's going to be another issue.
Out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Go to the other side. Go to the other side. Why you going to tell the son to leave? Why you going to tell him to get out
while it's raining? They have no humanity. White people don't see us as human. I'm telling you.
According to the arrest report, the tragic event began with the suspect sitting under another team's tent as rain fell and being told to move. A witness told police Anthony immediately opened his bag and reached in, telling the victim, "Touch me and see what happens."
Yeah, I mean, like he did. He opened his bag, put his hand in there, and said, "Touch me and see what happens." So he gave the white dude fair warning.
Yeah. So the other Chinese whispers I heard was that like Austin, because he and Hunter, like I think are massive. They're like 6 something, and this guy's, as he said, a shrimp at 5'3". So he was saying it, I guess, to just the team, their school in general. So that kind of thing, like Austin and his brother came as like the backup, like, no, you have to leave now. So they weren't the first like engagement with this guy. He was already talking to their teammates. So they came in like the latter bit, like, no, like my friends have said, you've got to move now. And then he stabbed Austin. And Hunter said he didn't see it, but.
Well, let me see the cops part, man. That's just rumors. Let's see what the cops say, man.
A witness told police Anthony immediately opened his bag and reached in, telling the victim, "Touch me and see what happens." When the victim pushed him, witnesses say Anthony pulled a knife from the bag and stabbed.
Oh yeah, you pushed him. This is like, what was that white kid thinking, man? I know it's a fight. They should just fight, or they should nah. He's already drawn a line in the sand. The black kids already drawn the line in the sand. Touch me and see what happens.
He's not used to that.
Yeah.
He's used to being, you know, the big kid on campus. And he thought the son would, you know, be like, oh, all right, my bad.
No, so people, he knows sons. He lives in the world. He knows sons are different. He knows that son culture is different. That white kid doesn't think that he's no badass to no black kids. He don't think black kids. If you go to school with black kids, no matter what your status is as a white kid, you know that those sons don't give a flying fuck about whatever status you got.
What's the split of Frisco? What's the ethnic split?
It's a lot of Indians and whites and small population of blacks.
Oh, okay.
Stabbed Austin Metcalf in the chest. The murder suspect reportedly asked police on the scene if what happened could be considered self-defense.
He was already trying to get his. See what I'm saying? Listen, that's going to be a big. Listen, this is going to be a racial firestorm. This is going because this is not cut and dry. Because you got to remember when you're a black person, you're going to get all the benefits of the doubt. Okay, in this situation, because this is inconvenient. This is an inconvenient story. So the law, you know, whereas we would normally look at this as the law, like, you know, if it was a white guy that did it, like with George Zimmerman, it was stand your ground, the stand your ground law. But since it's a black guy who did it, it's going to be like, well, what would you think you would do? How would you feel? And, you know.
Yeah, they'll find all the excuses. But already it hasn't even been touted as a hate crime. It's just been touted as like just a stabbing. Oh, teenagers stabbing. But they haven't added the hate crime, which I think it should be.
Nah, ain't gonna be no hate crime. He pushed him. Pushed the
kid. But the push
The
is just like, come on, man, get out. Like that's the push. Like you've already been told, like get out.
The push is you touched me first.
Yeah.
You touched me first. Hey.
Happened could be considered self-defense, and asking if the victim was going to be okay. Maria Guerrero takes a closer look at the case.
At least he asked if the victim was going to be okay, man. This is a different.
After asking for himself. that was an afterthought. Like, oh wait, the guy just stabbed in the heart. Will he survive? Who's just died in his twin brother's arms? He's an idiot.
I mean, you don't know what you're dealing with, man. You don't know if you're dealing with a murder or assault.
And the grief in Collin County.
Facing 5 to 99 years in prison if convicted, Karmelo Anthony no longer appearing as emotional as he did after being arrested in the stabbing death of 17-year-old Austin Metcalf.
They were twins, identical twins, and his brother was holding.
I wonder what's going to happen when that son team gets a bond, because his family apparently his family could pay a bond, and in Texas we always do all the stories where they always give you a bond in Texas. They always give you a bond, and it's usually a low bond. So this is when I can't wait till the cameras see this fucking guy walking out of court, man. That's gonna be hilarious, man. Walking out of the courthouse.
Also, this clip annoyed me because
trying to
the
make it
father
stop
said he
bleeding.
forgives him. I was like,
And
not
he died in his brother's arms.
The horrifying scene playing out Wednesday morning during a district track meet with over 100 student athletes participating. Frisco police say Anthony, a Centennial High School student, stabbed Metcalf, a Memorial High School student, during a fight. The victim's family says Anthony was told he was sitting in the wrong spot and that the teens did not know each other. Frisco police and the school district declining to provide new information or interviews. The district also not responding to questions raised by a lot of parents about what kind of security these daytime track meets have and whether student athletes' bags are checked.
Frisco ISD doesn't use metal detectors in the school, so it would be unusual for them
to have them at an athletic event of this nature.
Former Dallas ISD Chief of Police Craig Miller says it would also not be unusual for Frisco ISD to have a smaller presence of school resource officers on hand.
When you hear about these cases, you're struck with the tragic circumstances.
Defense attorney Russell Wilson, a former prosecutor, is not involved in this case, but agreed to give insight, including the potential impact of the deadly encounter happening on school grounds.
The prosecution will be saying this is a place where you wouldn't expect an incident like this to happen. And I probably would expect the defense to say that they didn't go to this incident or to this track meet intending for an altercation like this to happen.
Whether words were exchanged may not matter, says Wilson.
The Texas law, though, doesn't allow a person to use deadly force in response to verbal provocation alone.
Memorial High pausing to remember their 11th grade warrior during second period. His accused killer in jail on $1 million bond. Approved visitors include his father, siblings, and girlfriend. In Frisco, Maria Guerrero, NBC5.
Going back to what Pantheon said, he asked about the victim stats after he asked, if he could claim self-defense. And just looking at his picture, somebody else in the comments said, he's got that dead stare, dude. You could see he has no remorse.
Yeah, it just looks like a thing that happened. Just a random.
Yeah.
I just stabbed a guy in the heart. No biggie. No worries. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, he's a Sun team, man. I mean, he may have carjacked people before. He may have been on drive-bys. He's a Sun team. This really might not be anything to him. I mean, and even though he lives in a good community, the Sun teams there amongst each other would be, account for the crime. So whatever crime there was in there, then that would be amongst that Sun team population. So it could be a safe area, but the Suns could be like a fucking, it could be Beirut. Let me see. I'm not finding too much about the father, though. I mean, his parents.
Jason Whitlock did kind of a full show segment on it yesterday, but there's the shortened segment in the back chat on, he said disc culture. And he said that's the obvious problem that, okay, you've seen it.
Yeah. I saw that. It is, I mean, it's just Suns, man. It's just the way if I had done that, right, it would have ended the same way. If a black kid had done that to him, it would have ended the same way. This wasn't race. This wasn't race. This isn't like something there could be a racial element in there, like white boy or something like that. But for instance, say they had gotten to a fight and somebody had broken it up right before he stabbed him, right? Karmelo wasn't going to go spin the block and go shoot up Austin's house, or he wasn't going to go, do nothing like that. But if it was a black kid, Karmelo would have been hunting for that nigga after school. You know what I'm saying? He'd been looking for him to shoot him. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when people say that, white people actually got it easier in altercations with blacks if no one gets killed in the moment. You understand what I'm saying? Like if both parties can walk away somehow, whether it's a broken up or whether the police intervene or whether, they fight to a stalemate, the white person rarely has anything to worry about after that. Unless, of course, they go to the same school. Huh?
Why is that?
Because, I mean, it's just, it's over. I don't think the black kid would see the white kid as a threat, or he would see any points with killing the black kid. I mean, the white kid. But the black kid, if it was another black kid, he's gonna like call his boys and they're gonna go hunting for the dude, find out where he live at, you know what I'm saying? Harass him on social media, you know what I'm saying? Try to set up an altercation or a meeting where they can shoot at each other.
Oh, I guess I kind of see what you said. Yeah. Because like that, the other black kid, he's from that same culture, so like like it would look like he got one over on him.
Yeah, exactly.
Back then, it would the other guy would have escalated, so like eventually it would lead to something extreme. I got you.
Exactly. Let's see this one, man. Let me read the super chat. Teddy Bear says, check out the fake statement by the Frisco police chief that some sons created. It's truly epic. Posting the link in the chat. He said they got a fake police report.
Not a fake police report, but a false statement, I think, is what he's saying. They made a false statement to police, I think. But I don't know, like, I'm just wondering if anybody recorded that. Because, in this day and age, like, people have their phones out all the time. I know, like, it happened too fast, but, like, they might have been, like, filming the game or something like that, and then, like, somebody might have had their phone out already. That's what I'm thinking.
It said the backstory. Austin Metcalf is that he was killed over a broken cell phone. The stabber's friends at school are defending the killer's actions, which is, of course, disgusting. So,
what did I say?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's Chinese whispers. But yeah, that is a theory that was said.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, black people are saying self-defense. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like this kid might get off on this shit, man. Let me see this story right here. This shit right here.
We turn now to a police pursuit that ended with a brief swim and the arrest of 4 people near Philadelphia International Airport. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. I'm Jacqueline London.
I'm Tracy Davidson. Police say the 4 suspects jumped into the water to avoid arrest, but they were taken into custody a short time later. Police say the suspects stole 2 vehicles, the first one in Camden County, then another car was stolen in Prospect Park, Delaware County. That's when the pursuit began around 1:30 this morning. It eventually came to an end on Route 291 in Tinicum Township. Investigators say they might have gotten away with it, all of it, if it wasn't for a quick-thinking man who wasn't letting them get away with his truck. NBC 10's Brian Sheehan is live in Drexel Hill with the details. Tell us more about this, Brian.
Cherry blossom.
Yeah, Tracy and Jackie, Keith Hari's Dodge Ram is parked safely in his driveway this afternoon. But last night around midnight, it was parked here in the street and unfortunately unlocked when a group of criminals pulled up onto the street, got out of the car, and started going through his truck, taking his personal items. Keith heard the entire commotion, wasn't having any of it, and jumped into action. Take a look at this surveillance video that he shared with us earlier today. There he is running out of the door and chasing after them. They're on the top left of your screen. Moments before this, his home surveillance video captured a silver Kia SUV slowly making its way down the street here in Drexel Hill. 2 individuals jump out, and one checked one of the cars parked in the driveway before opening the door of his truck, which was, as I said, parked in the street. While he jumped into his car and chased after them, but eventually lost them. Police, though, did eventually catch up to the group after they allegedly stole another car and led officers on a chase. They were taken into custody on Island Avenue near the airport in Tinicum Township, and our cameras were rolling.
This is racial too. If these turn out to be sons, they're going into a white neighborhood hunting. You know what I mean? They're going into a white neighborhood, breaking into people's cars, stealing their cars, stealing their stuff. That's, like if that was the other way, it'd be a big problem.
as police were on scene there searching the water and collecting evidence. We spoke to Keith about what happened, the items that were in his vehicle, including a bulletproof vest. You will hear from him coming up a little bit later here on NBC 10 News. But for now, live in Drexel Hill, I'm Brian Sheehan, NBC 10 News.
He's very brave.
Here they go.
It was a wild chase that started in Delco, then went into Philly, and then back into Delco, where police say the suspects jumped out of their stolen car. And what did they do? They went into a pond to try to get away. And Kelly, what a wild chain of events.
Wild chain of events, but all four, 2 adults and 2 juveniles, were taken into custody here in Tinicum Township. And again, this all started at a home in Drexel Hill, where just before midnight, the homeowner tells us he saw people break into his truck.
One's a minor, which is just sad. You know, it's just sad.
The chaotic moments caught on Keith Hari's surveillance camera. The local EMT and firefighter says just after 11:45 last night, cameras captured his brand new truck door open and 2 people inside. A car pulls up and one of the individuals runs towards it. Another follows with what Hari says was his bulletproof vest for work. He attempted to go after them.
I totally feel violated. Like, I literally made 1 payment on his truck so far. Like, I just got it, and now somebody's been in it.
He called Upper Darby police. They say their officers then spotted the silver Kia with Jersey registration. They attempted to pull it over, but the driver didn't stop and continued into West Philadelphia. A half hour later, police in Prospect Park spotted the Kia. They say it was unattended, and then they got a call about a black Dodge Durango stolen from Prospect Avenue.
Not long after that, a Springfield Township police officer spots that Dodge Durango, attempts to stop it, and it flees from the officer. They pursue that vehicle onto 95.
Police say the Durango exited at exit 10 and all 4 individuals got out and went into this pond in Tinicum Township. Multiple agencies responded. Police say they arrested 18-year-old Brian De La Cruz Reyes and 18-year-old Alvaro Rivera and 2.
Okay, so Hombritos.
Ooh, I have to go and catch my train now, but I'll try and come up tomorrow, Friday night, Saturday morning. But
Okay,
yeah, I
good
just
to
saw you
hear
doing
from you.
Austin, so yeah, it's very sad. It really hurt my heart, that one.
Yeah, man. All right, man. Take it easy.
Cool.
See you, Pantheon.
A Milwaukee family mourning the death of a 6-year-old boy. Officers say the child was shot and killed last night on the city's north side. Durante Matthews is live near 51st and Hope with what we've just learned from police. Durante?
Yeah, Ted, police tell us they arrested 2 women related to this case, 40 and 26 years old.
Shit.
Family members tell us they're still really trying to make sense out of everything that happened, but they tell us that 6-year-old boy's name was Daquel Collins, but they called him King. Seated on a throne, loved ones of 6-year-old Daquel Collins say this photo encompasses the nickname they gave him, King. Now his family tells us they're heartbroken. Police say the 6-year-old was shot and killed around 9:30 Tuesday night near 51st and Hope Avenue. Officers say the boy had fatal gunshot wounds and was pronounced dead on the scene. Police say they arrested a 40-year-old woman and a 26-year-old woman related to the case. Neighbors didn't want to go on camera Wednesday, but they tell us they didn't hear any shots the night before. They only saw police tape off the block. Wednesday, Mayor Cavalier Johnson sent us a statement saying he's saddened and offers his condolences. His statement went on to read, "Let's be clear, guns must never be used or left unattended around children. Adults must take every precaution to protect young people, and that includes locking guns, storing firearms safely, and always keeping weapons out of the reach of children." Despite Johnson's statement, police have not confirmed what happened. Loved ones tell us they're still trying to make sense of it all. They
Damn.
say Collins would have turned 7 in just a few days.
Jeez.
New at 10, 2 customers attacked workers at a South Loop restaurant, and it was all caught on camera. Our Sarah Maki spoke with one of the victims.
All right, come on, Chicago. Who attacked these workers at this restaurant?
Definitely Suns, I would say. That's more their MO.
Last one was on burritos. So you guys have been
Hit
wrong
with pepper
before.
spray
Never
and
know.
a fast-thinking bystander. Sarah, what are they telling you?
Yeah, Erica, witnesses tell us that this all escalated in just moments. Now, thankfully, both of the workers who were pepper sprayed here, they are okay, but they tell us it was shocking and it was painful. And now some people are calling for justice.
It's like the last second of it. And that's when I was like, time to call the police.
What she caught at the last second was an escalation of this argument.
I was sitting right here.
Restaurant patron Christina's song recording as two customers started a heated exchange with employees at the Sauca South Loop location on Clark. She says those customers took frustration into their own hands when the male customer pulled out some kind of pepper spray. Bopan tells us, using a coworker to translate, that the customers had ordered their food through Uber Eats while inside the restaurant, a common practice that allows customers to receive certain promotional discounts. But those customers became agitated by the wait time, and he ended up on the receiving end of a fiery exchange.
So it feels like pure burning.
Song tells us the man in this video hadn't said anything before pulling the pepper spray, first on Pan, then on a second female employee.
After that, I ran back to the other workers and I said, put milk on his face, please, like milk or something. So we were in the back watching his face I had a glove and I was watching his face with milk to help get the spice out.
But she snapped this photo of the couple leaving the parking lot, sharing their license plate with police. Chicago police confirming to us that they responded to a call about a battery and are currently investigating.
I feel like people need more patience in life right now. There's like everything's so fast paced. It's like, just wait a little bit. Just wait a little bit.
Chicago police tell us at this time, no arrests. Reporting from South Loop, Sarah Maki, CBS News, Chicago.
Quite the ordeal. Sarah, thank you.
Breaking news.
Wow. Yeah, man. So any final thoughts?
Nah, I'm good.
Salute to everybody out there, man. Great show. Same black time, same black channel. Out of here.
Peace out. Salute.